Over to you,
Hey,
Patty.
guys. We have so much fun. We're almost at the end of the year. Hey, we're at the end of the year, and I just want to bring in the magic. So the three of us are going to show you a really cool Zoom trick, and I hope that you'll totally get off on it. Let's bring in some magic. Ready, guys? Get your thumbs ready to go. Yeah, do this and watch what happens. Keep it near your head. Oh, am I the only one? Dang. Okay, here's another one. I just learned this before the show.
How do you do
How
that?
do you do
There's
that?
a feature. How did you unlock that?
I didn't. It's just when I do matching things near my head, woo, we bring in the
My
magic.
Zoom isn't cool like yours.
I
Oh,
guess not.
well.
Well, I'm sorry. I was hoping all three of us would light up, but I just
Oh,
wanted to say, pretty freaking fun, to have tricks
Hey,
on
there we
you.
go.
I just love it. It was accidental that I found it. So,
Well, this is approaching 2024, which by now we all know 2024 is about accelerating ascension.
that's right.
And this program is about fresh starts. So Laura may have to leave early. So Laura, over to you. Why don't you open?
Well, it's great to be here with you guys. I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season. And this is the time of year to really actually create a fresh start, and have it be very thorough in a lot of ways, because the sun currently is moving through Ophiuchus, which this does every year since 2010 on November 30th to December 17th. And Ophiuchus is connected to the ether element, and the ether element is the great purifier. So when we move through that scorpionic sort of death energy, all about rebirth or clearing or letting go, we then go into Sagittarius, and there's a window of Ophiuchus, which is the ether. So if we're gonna like have a fresh start, we want to make sure that we're not bringing anything into that fresh start that we would otherwise like to just be left in the past or composted into the soil of the soul, so that when we do a fresh start, we can see it with fresh eyes and be more in that neutrality, and more in our wisdom body. Like, what have we learned? Where can we have greater discernment and wisdom, instead of dropping back into a pattern or a negative pattern that would be brought through from something that we want to release? And so a fresh start is a fresh start. So like a fresh kitchen, like a fresh anything, you want it to be ready for the next creation. And so it's all about having your physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental bodies cleared, and have the seeds of your dreams and the visions for this fresh start to be ready to be energized and manifested fully and completely. And that's when the synchronicities start to come in and support that. That's when we begin to meet people that might share in that dream or vision. That's when we might go through also a huge growth period with partners and friends, and notice that some stay and some don't, when we move through these different phases of life. So yeah, we are kind of talking about, like, I've had a lot of fresh starts in my life. And yeah, sometimes things do carry along in the form of like triggers that I feel, because Ophiuchus is ruled by Chiron, the asteroid, the wounded healer, which is all about facing our wounds. Wow, that ether energy connects with Chiron and our wounds. And the Divine Mother is connected with Ophiuchus and the correction of the fallen angelics, and doing that inner work within ourselves to raise those fallen aspects within ourselves back up again, because we all slip into that, because that's sort of the way we've been conditioned to work energy, like on an ego level, when it's time to create some kind of change. And so the planet's doing it as well, because of all the dark history that's happened with the invader races and the controller forces. So the very earth body in her elementals is cleansing herself. And to do that, it's to be very transparent of your wounds and to bring unconditional love into those places. What we learn and what the Matrix inversions and programs have taught us is to give that power away to something outside of ourselves when we're faced with a wound, an injury, an illness, something in our mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual bodies. You know, we go to the priest, we go to the doctor, we go to a teacher, we go to something outside of ourselves. And that can be very helpful to a certain degree, but where is it repressive? Where is it leveraging our amnesia or our vulnerabilities? Where is it creating this dependency bond that we've been in? Where is that still continuing? So we have to move into the higher Saturn, which is more about the self-mastery, and cleanse ourselves from it so we can have a fresh start as a humanity, and cut the cords with those outer inverted systems, and take the well-intentioned aspects of it with us, but leave behind where we still have a relationship with it because of fear, because of a disconnect with ourselves. You know, where can we move forward and have a bit of both, so we can do that inner work and have support that we work with that works with us. So it's a co-creation instead of going somewhere, getting a label slapped on you, being given a drug. You know, you're not looking at the whole person or looking outside of yourself at the news and seeing that that's the human trajectory right now, or is that engineered, or those psyops, right? So a fresh start for us as a humanity to do this as a collective would be, how can we cut the cords and cleanse ourselves from this misuse of power and this tyrannical authority that has convinced people that it actually cares about us and it's got the solutions for us? Where can we call that power back? Because if we're going to have a fresh start, we want to also have soul retrieval. We let go of what doesn't serve us, and we reclaim and reintegrate the aspects of ourselves that has been drained from us, that we feel that is still maybe in an ex-partner or an old job or a family dynamic that we can't seem to snap out of, that we keep looping in. So a fresh start is really a fresh start. And I like to look at it, you know, on every level. Some of my fresh starts in life haven't been as fresh as I'd like, though, particularly my last breakup. And that's been a bit of a journey. So I can't wait to embrace a Ophiuchus season with this alchemical ether energy, just pouring the unconditional love onto whatever wounds decide to come up, and wherever they're triggered, I'm just going to embrace it. And that's what one can do this time of year. This is why it's an ascension window period. As of 2010, when the sun started to move through Ophiuchus, when the mother energy got grounded back onto the planet, we now experience her unconditional love. We are beyond the lower creator gods. We're beyond all those forces that have created this very unhealthy dependency bond because of duality, because of unconsciousness and amnesia and fear tactics, constantly igniting our traumas and our wounds so that it can leverage that and make money from it and create the system that we've been in. So to me, it's being a part of that for the self, doing it for the self, for the collective. So a fresh start within is going to assist in the fresh start in humanity. And where you see others aren't with you on that, don't attach yourself to that storyline or that timeline. You know, you can observe it, but you should have great confidence in what you're co-creating. And that when you do this work and you're true to yourself and you're moving through the cycles and the processes that nature gives us, you are on that trajectory to manifest a beautiful future. And we can have that as a collective and as a humanity in way greater numbers. So, you know, hopefully people will begin to feel more empowered to take that step and break up with that loser of an inverted matrix, false authority system.
We have been super confused. It's true. And you just gave the spiritual aspect. I'm going to bring it down to the physical aspect, because I am so into, I hate to say it, congressional hearings. You know, I used to be listening to a lot of the influencers say, this is my perception of what, you know, is going on in the government. But all of a sudden I had a chat with Ann Vandersteel and I said, is this guy for real? She goes, Patty. I said, really? Scam. Is this guy for real? And she goes, nope. And it wasn't like she or I want to cut down any people that are giving news, but a lot of people, and they make it really obvious, in my opinion, up front. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe, you know, before you gift anything, as in my wisdom or the news. It's like, start with your purpose so that people listen. And I think that 20 years ago, Patricia Cota-Robles said to a group of us that were touring together, everything that is dark and evil is going to come to the surface to be healed. 20 years ago, I was like, what does that mean? Okay, I'm going to do it for you. Here's Laura's fireworks. I don't know. I didn't ask for it. It's just like my computer's doing it. Um, so I really was like riding this high horse with all this hopium for the last few years of the flu and all those misinformation piles, and then watching all of us have our everything taken down and removed from social media, and our perceptions hidden and lost because they weren't what the Dark Lords wanted us to be saying. And it's like really separated, in my opinion. Almost every chapter of what I've experienced in life is really showing the wheat and the chaff now. It's like we love and support everyone. We want everyone to be their best and have their best life possible, but a lot of people just aren't being nice. And now we've got this government that's been given billions of dollars, I'm sorry, but it's true, to push these bizarre agendas through society. And now it's just almost seemingly out of control, the craziness. And the things that are being pushed and promoted, even in my little town, are, in my opinion, and I'm thinking, am I just old? But no, people in their 40s, 30s are going, oh, no, we're all noticing it. So on a physical level, I love your spiritual outlook, because it's completely saying we're almost there, like it is moving into the positive, but letting go of my hopium, like getting off the horse of, maybe that Trump was still the president or still the commander in chief, or that it really wasn't this bad. I mean, for me, I just want it to really not be as bad as what I'm seeing. But what's interesting is we look at what's really going on. We haven't seen Fauci in a long time. I haven't seen his face anywhere. So maybe they are removing people. I don't know. But what I want to see is the evolution of humanity back to kindness, back to compassion. And I think that these last 4 years have taught us so much hatred and division and separation. And it's really caused people to be cray-cray. But the problem is a lot of people that fell for the unfortunate needle in the arm that may not make it, or that are getting sick, which I'm hearing way too many stories. How are we going to deal with all that? How we're going to deal with it is these things we're missing: love, compassion, kindness. And I'm finding myself really reprioritizing for my new beginnings, such as when I go into my pain and victimhood, which I don't do victim, but I have pain. But when I feel it, I'm really making myself, and now it's becoming more easy, go into gratitude. Oh my God, I can't sleep. This is making me nuts. I love my bed. My house is warm. I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. I mean, I am running down my list of gratitude every time I think of the creep that put uranium in my yard. The bristles go up, and then I'm like, I'm so grateful I made it. I'm so grateful I have C60 Evo. I'm so grateful I've survived. So I think that we need to kind of reprogram our thinking to gratitude. And, no matter what we're feeling, I don't know anybody that's got it easy right now. Like one of my great guy friends, it's like he's so brilliant in so many ways, but he just can't figure out the money thing. And some of us have the money thing figured out, but then we're dealing with health stuff. And everybody I talk to is dealing. And I guess I'm not, free of it either, which I'm sure the three of us, we've got whatever it is that is our mission to get over. But if we can get over the hump and get back to gratitude, kindness, compassion, we're going to get a whole lot further. But the evolution that you speak of, Laura, in the ether realms is happening in the congressional realms. And even if we think that all these, Dems and Republicans, none of them are any better than the others, but there's a handful of really great people in the Congress that are absolutely nailing the facts and the truth. The problem is we've got so many enemies of America in our Congress that they are still getting away with destroying things. And I hope that I've just been watching the wrong videos that are, encouraging me to think we're not there yet, because I want to say we're almost there. We have all worked so hard to find freedom again. And there was so much deceit, dishonor, disruption of humanity with dark and evil intention. They were doing terrible things, so many of them, so many lies that we're still living with, like the J6. Give me a break that they're still pushing it. They're still going out and arresting people when the footage has all been released. It's almost like we're stuck on stupid by letting people say there's no evidence. Those people need to be fired. Look at the evidence. The Congress is just pouring it out. There's too many of them pouring it out for us to sit here unintelligent. So my new awakening for the upcoming year is to really stay in a positive frame of mind and to be in severe gratitude and remind people every day how wonderful it is just to be here. And I'm trying to look at the beautiful blue and the soft clouds rather than the chem stripes. It's a real trick of disciplining our mind to not see or not be bothered by, but to instead focus on the light, the love, the beauty of the colors and the clouds. It's going to be a lesson, but I think that we're all going to need to practice. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot less people. We know that there's a lot less people. And so it's going to be a new world. It's going to be a new world that we move into with a lot less clutter. All the stores that have been shut down in all the major cities. Oh my God, San Francisco's closed, Sacramento's closed. It's like all these stores are moving out of so many major cities because the crime is just insane. So it'll be curious to see how we recover, and maybe we go back to everybody making their things and trading. I think that we're going to have a real evolution, and we're getting rid of so much clutter that's dark, and it hurts to see it, to know it, to watch it, but we got to do it with a big flush. So that's my pitch for the new awakening. Stay positive, stay grateful.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Big Al?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. In 2011 to 2012, actually Laura was part of it, and then Patty came in too. We started a new platform for multidimensional knowledge. It was called Exo University, and then when in 2014 the Omniverse emerged. In 2014, there were 2 books that were published that documented that the Omniverse existed. You've got Universe, Multiverse, Omniverse. The universe was first discovered by the Sumerian astronomers around 3500 BC. And then in 1895, the American scientist William James confirmed that, or coined the term the multiverse, meaning the sum of all of the universes. And then in 2014, there were 2 books by 2 different scientists in different parts of the world that didn't know each other that confirmed that the multiverse existed. And one of those scientists was on my book, The Dimensional Ecology of the Omniverse. And what the Omniverse is, the Omniverse equation, like Einstein's equation E equals mc squared, this is Omniverse equals multiverse, or the sum of all the universes plus the spiritual dimensions. And the spiritual dimensions are the intelligent civilization of souls plus spiritual beings plus source or God, but all from a scientific point of view. That is, we can reach all of that knowledge now through the scientific method of uniform protocols and replicable results. It's no longer faith or having some priest or, hand them down. So that's the new. The new is like, direct. So the Omniverse is now emerging, and that was the significance of 2014, where we've documented it. And now is the age of the integration of science and spirituality. We're in the age of the Omniverse coming, and 2014 for me has always represented an acceleration in planetary ascension. I mean, coming into get ready to move into 5D, into the new world. I mean, that's about it. So we now have in Omniversity, we're providing classes and courses in fasten your seatbelts, understanding and being in this new multidimensional reality. And so it's all about acceleration into the Omniverse. Now, universities were chartered to study universes of time, energy, space, and matter, which is what the Sumerian astronomers discovered in 3500 BC. But now they're gatekeeping our knowledge of the Omniverse, of these multidimensional entities, and our knowledge scientifically of the afterlife, of the intelligent civilization of souls, of psychic capacity, of exosciences, of exopolitics, of sci-sciences, of spiritual beings, and of source, and of God. We now have scientific knowledge of God. So that's why we have omniverses to study, on omniversities to study the Omniverse. So that's what we're doing. We're jumping over universities because they were chartered to study universes, but now it's the Omniverse that is relevant. And I've met with many universities, for example, here in Vancouver, Canada. They say, Alfred, you're 10 years ahead of your time. We can't possibly have you teach your courses here. It's like they're stuck back in Sumerian times of 3,500 years ago, back in their classical physics of uniform and replicable results of time, energy, space, and matter, and they're not ready to enter the new paradigms. But so we are. So at Omniversity now, and you can go to exopolitics.com and enter these new classes and courses. And so that's our fresh start. However, taking what Patty has said and taking what Laura has said, I want to share with you why it is, and notice my new garb, huh?
I noticed
that. It's great. I like your background too.
Oh yeah, thanks. That is our Omniversity logo.
That's beautiful. Wow. That's incredible.
So this is like in 2024, I'm inside the new world. The new world has landed. It has landed. It's not only in my speech, I'm living inside the timeless capsule. And that's what's real. And, we even put it on our hair. Patty, talk about that.
well yeah
yeah, go ahead. But anyway, I want to I want to share something because it's very, many things are going to shake up around, but inside everything is going to be shakeless and still and eternal. Let me share with you one of our 4 courses, okay? Because I think that many of the people listening to our words are going to be what we call Americans, Americans. And Americans is a word for, like North America. It's not the second largest landmass in the world after Russia is Canada. Now, they're Canada's Americans. I'm in Canada right now, but you say Americans, you mean United Statesians, okay? I'm from a Canadian United Statesian Cuban family, so I understand all these border stuff and identities and everything, but are going to be United Statesian. And let me share with you one of our classes. The name of the course is, "In the Future, Will the United States of America Break Up into Many Regions? A Public Inquiry." And you can go to exopolitics.com right now and look at the curriculum. This month, our sort of Omniversity homepage at omniversity.net is getting a makeover, so it'll be ready for January 1st, 2024. So that the ideal starting point, the individuals that are, this is, really this course is for, is about positive solutions to preserving the constitutional and territorial integrity of the United States of America as a democracy. That's sort of, people whose sole mission and who really feel it in their hearts, such as my two co-hosts, I believe, really feel that. I mean, the great-granddaughter of an American hero such as Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Patty Greer, who just shared with us that she is really interested and concerned about what's going on in the halls of Congress. Okay, now that's sort of the ideal person. Now, what's the course learning outcome and transformation after taking this Omniversity course on positive solutions to preserving the constitutional and territorial integrity of the United States of America as a democracy? Number one, the learning outcome is this: individuals and students will be able to understand and internalize divine soul-oriented solutions, that's spelled SOULUTIONS, to multidimensional challenges that a chronography, time travel, secret government with Luciferian orientation is now creating for humanity, and preserving the constitutional and territorial integrity of the United States as a democracy. Transformation, so that the individuals and students can successfully access and internalize a new divine soul and science-based method of creating a positive human future for humanity and preserving the constitutional and territorial integrity of the United States of America as a democracy. Now, the course, Multidimensional Evidence Sources and Texts Examined, include and are not limited to the following. Universebooks.com announces new book release exposing a 1977 classified leak of CIA quantum access time travel pre-identification that, quote, "In the future, the United States will break up into many regions." The new book also pinpoints MAGA, M-A-G-A, end of quote, as the highest priesthood status of the Temple of Satan. Did you know that MAGA was the 5th level priesthood of the Temple of Satan? A fact also known to U.S. military backers of Donald J. Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. So that is like, wow, man. There are so many factors coming in This is a multidimensional challenge that it needs super warriors that are full of fullerenes. That's why they call them fullerenes. Now, on October 3rd, 2023, former General Michael Flynn warned in a post on X, formerly Twitter, that, quote, 2024 may be the last election Americans have as a republic. Quote, former General Flynn writes on X, quote, every Republican governor running for POTUS or not, and all others have to put their egos aside and swallow their pride and get behind ampersand real Donald Trump immediately. Otherwise, we risk 2024 being the last election to maintain our republic. Never in U.S. history have we seen such a domestic assault on the fabric of our democracy with external support from outside dark forces, not a conspiracy theory. The globalists are coming for our faith, our families, our treasure, our lives. Author and futurist Alfred Lambremont Webre, in a new book, quote, in the future, will the United States of America break up into many regions? A public inquiry, second edition, publicly shares the proof, documentation, and implications of an apparent leak of classified top secret DARPA CIA Project Pegasus quantum access time travel pre-identification information that, quote, in the future, the United States of America would break up into many regions, end of quote. This leak was given to Alfred in January 1977 by director Willis Harman when Alfred first joined the Center for the Study of Social Policy, the then futurist unit at Stanford Research Institute, SRI, in Menlo Park, California. At the time, SRI's futurist unit had a contract with the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency to study, quote, alternative 50-year futures of the United States of America. In the second edition of his new book, Tribunal Judge Alfred Lambremont Webre of the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice at peaceandspace.org, a tribunal of conscience that our co-host, Laura Eisenhower, is a very generous supporter of, shares the November 15, 2020 tribunal of co-defendant Donald John Trump and shows how Donald John Trump appropriated MAGA, the highest degree, the fifth degree in the Temple of Satan hierarchy. Then there's a link to www.churchofsatan.com hierarchy as the MAGA motto for his 2016 and 2020 and 2024 U.S. presidential campaigns, and disguised MAGA, highest fifth degree priesthood status in the Temple of Satan, as Donald John Trump's 2016, 2020, 2024 U.S. presidential campaign slogan, MAGA, Make America Great Again, a diabolical diversion for Trump and in reality a collective satanic black magic MAGA Antichrist Temple of Satan curse on America and on the world, as Donald John Trump was secretly briefed in 1971 as a future U.S. president by the top secret DARPA CIA time travel presidential pre-identification program, as documented with evidence and proof in the Chronography and Tracking the Antichrist, books by author and futurist Alfred Lambremont Webre, available at Amazon and at universebooks.com. By the way, you can see at www.reformation.org that the real Donald J. Trump passed away in 1989. 3 Trump doubles worked for the Trump Organization, and on October 10th, 1989, the real Donald J. Trump was killed in a helicopter crash. After the crash, the 3 doubles or doppelgangers continued working for the Trump Double Cross Organization, and probably the current Donald Trump is a Soviet mole. So that is why this prosecution of the current Donald J. Trump, rigorously by Alfred Lambremont Webre, a direct descendant of John Alden, one of the founders of the Pilgrim colony in 1620, is so vigorous, since Alfred Lambremont Webre was exiled from Cuba by the communists and is a direct enemy of communist infiltration and of communist double agents, as the current false Donald J. Trump is. Because the real Donald Trump died in October 10th, 1989. Now, I could go on, but this is just to give you a flavor of what 2024 brings and why tripping the light fantastic and driving your light chariot is the best SOUL solution. Over to you.
Wow, God, thanks for all that. Gosh, that's a lot to think about. I don't know if you want to say any words, Patty?
Well, I think that wordsmithing, a lot of words have multi-meanings, and I'm going to pray that there's 2 magas, because I don't feel that satanic energy in Mr. Donald J. Trump. But again, I don't say I'm right. I haven't met him in person. But what I want to focus on
Go ahead.
is the advanced technologies that we have, because what are we going to do to get out of this muck? No matter Donald, no matter Brandon, you know, it's so hard to count on any of them. And then when we, like I, watch the congressional hearings, there's so many demons that just get up and say, no, 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 to anything that's real, anything that's evidenced. So my focus is going to be on really praying that we get our new technologies, our advanced med beds. The movies that I made about crop circles exposed that the seeds in crop circles are growing super seeds that will grow up to 30 to 400% more food and biofuel. And so in the lab, they recreated a machine to bring that technology forward. And so we've had probably for centuries these advanced technologies. And I don't know if there is craft, UFO alien craft. I've never been on one, so I can't say. But I will say that a lot of the crop circles, when I took them and spun the pattern, it definitely looked like we've got alien technology propulsion or lighting schematics. But a lot of the crop circles really tied to advanced technologies, which are ancient technologies. And I had a conversation with somebody extremely intelligent just this morning, and I said, oh, I'm doing a show with Laura today. But they said, Dwight D. Eisenhower brought all these incredible technologies forward, but the dark government came in and just stopped him and took it away. And all the BS about he didn't have great intentions, wrong, right, Laura? He had access to all these things that I'm praying come to light. Who took it away from him, and how did he let that go?
Yeah, it's such a complicated time of history, that's for sure. I mean, he definitely had an alliance with Val Thor, and Val Thor, who came in on Victor 1, and what that brought to Eisenhower's awareness. I mean, it certainly wasn't gray alien technology. That's what MJ-12 has their hands on. And that has to do with the manipulation of timelines and what happens in abductions, and just all the different technologies connected to how it's going to benefit just this deep state agenda versus all of us, right? So I know everything Eisenhower, tried to do was for the benefit of humanity. And the beauty is that he was able to set things up that are still alive today. And I hear updates, some of them I question, some of them feel pretty resonant. But that's another fresh start, just having my book out there and like having hopefully people take it seriously to look at our history in a much different light, so that we're more prepared for whatever kind of disclosures we come up against. We need to really, really fully understand who's going to be pushing a narrative, and what that narrative is all about. Because there's a lot of benevolent looking beings that are a part of the Draco Alliance, and it's very easy, to get duped, because some of the technologies create these false channelings and experiences that people might mistake for this huge step that we're potentially going to take. And that's the thing. As next year rolls around and Pluto moves into Aquarius, it's going to push humanity into doing a lot more clearing and shadow work connected to new Earth energies. What is being birthed, right? What birth canal are you going through? The false narrative, inverted disclosure matrix, birth canal, or truth, right? And through that one, we have to be very receptive and humble and not fixed, because we need to just make sure we have learned and grown a lot, and we refuse to be duped or fooled. And that's been what humanity has dealt with for cycles upon cycles. And this particular window will be absolutely sabotaged otherwise. But it's never too late to pull yourself from the clutches of it and return to, the more positive flow of what can be. But when we look at the detriment of these dark technologies, it's really looking to engineer the human and to separate it from the soul matrix. And that's a very dangerous thing when it goes too far. So we are going to need rehabilitation centers, healing centers with advanced technologies to help undo those kind of damages. But I think we're the most advanced technology. And if we can just get our consciousness on board with this and break the mind control, we will begin to have access to these abilities and what nature is helping us to do, which is to switch on these dormant strands of DNA. But we are going to need help because we're constantly assaulted. So we will need these advanced technologies to help us clear those ancestral patterns that we might not be able to get to, genetic damage, all sorts of injuries and illnesses that that our consciousness might struggle with. But go ahead, Alfred.
Yeah,
so
I know that Laura has to leave, so I really want to jump in here because I want to ask you for your endorsement for the person that I am supporting for US president in 2024. And please hear me out for a short thing and then be receptive to this, please. First of all, I'd like to say that I support Dwight Eisenhower completely. When I was a junior in secondary school in Washington, D.C. in 1958, I was invited to meet with the Secretary of Labor of then President Dwight Eisenhower with a small delegation. And at the time, I was on the debating team, and we were debating nationally. There was a big competition debating right to work laws, which is a big union issue. And I met with the Secretary of Labor, it was a big deal and stuff. And after that meeting, I got a commendation, personal commendation at the school from the Secretary of Labor. And so I've always had support from the Eisenhower administration, from the cabinet level, ever since that meeting. They said, Alfred Webre looks like he's really, has a level head on his shoulders. And that came down from the Eisenhower Secretary of Labor to my school administration at the time. So that goes back to them. But I'm going to be really quick, and then I'm going to ask you guys, you don't have to do it here, but for your endorsement. My mother was the president of the Lower Rio Grande Valley of Texas. We lived in Brownsville, Texas. She was the president of the South Texas Democrats. Boom. I'm not a Democrat, but she was the president of South Texas Democrats. And at that time, our family home, she was a very influential people, became in 1980 the South Texas headquarters for the Ted Kennedy for President campaign. And at that time, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was bivouacked in our family home. And my mother, Juanita, was a very valuable person, friendly, and she was Cuban. She was Scottish Canadian Cuban, and she became very friendly. She and RFK Jr. became very friendly, and she would see him in the kitchen raiding our refrigerator late at night. And I really have followed RFK Jr.'s campaign now when he broke with the Democrats and would not become a Republican. He says we have to go a new path, and I'm texted by the RFK campaign all of the time, and I support RFK Jr. For president. I support all of his policies. He was very early against the pandemic vaccinations. He was up there. I mean, really put himself out on that. He and I'm a founding judge of the National and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. His policies and my policies like this, and he's been right there. He talks like he does because the vaccination almost did him in. And his policies are right there. And he says, the two main political parties are corrupt, and he really has a vision. He says you're not going to find a solution within those parties. And both, in my judgment, the major candidates of both parties are just kapumped. There's nothing there. Look at Trump. He won't even debate. Why? Because he thinks he can, pull a fast one. The other guy can't even tie his shoelaces or know his name or say a sentence, and is ruining the United States through what he's doing at the border. RFK Jr. is really where it's at, and I think that if people got behind him, we'd get rid of this duopoly between these two corrupt parties and make it go. So I'm asking my two co-hosts, Patty Greer and Laura Eisenhower, to join me in endorsing. You don't have to do it tonight, but think about it, to join in endorsing RFK Jr. for president in 2024. So there you go.
You're going to love my reply.
Go ahead.
So I'll go real quick because I might have to jump off.
Oh, yeah.
I support you in everything that you research and who you feel good about this next year. I'm really interested in Dr. Shiva. I've interviewed him a bunch of times. He's brilliant. He says it like it is. I'm amazed that he's running, Dr. Shiva. And so I'd like that there's these kind of candidates. So I'll share more of my thoughts over maybe email. Go ahead, Patty.
I just want to say that what I do now for work, after living through ufology, dying and almost dying myself, I found a solution, which was carbon 60. And I've been taking the C60 Evo, and both of you do. But Bobby Kennedy Jr. got a 3-pack from us twice. I just have to say, I sent Bobby Kennedy Jr. all 3 flavors twice. And, or no, the second time I sent in the capsules, but he's such a sacred man. And I know somebody that's actually touring with him. Very good friend of mine is touring with Bobby Kennedy Jr. and Del Bigtree now. They're rolling together and they're doing a lot of talks. But we had to have the oils blessed at a Catholic church before he would receive them. Now, I think that's cool. And the lady that was the liaison between me and Bobby, she's also working with him. She was the one that made the connection and found out that we had to have the oils blessed. So she took them to a church and then he received them. So that's what I have to say about beautiful Bobby Kennedy Jr. If he starts talking clearly, I just wish he'd take more. You know, I don't know how much he's taking, but I really wish that he would test it, because imagine if all of a sudden his voice got clear. But I'm with you, Alfred. I'm an independent, because why be on either party? It's like a reason to fight, you know, or disagree with your family and neighbors. No thanks.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Bottom line, could it be said that 2 out of the 3 hosts of NewsEvolution have endorsed RFK Jr. for president? Could that be said?
It could be said.
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy about Dr. Shiva too. I'm glad both of them are running.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, that's an endorsement, I would say. Yeah.
I'm just kind of, look, the thing is that we want to save the USA. And so I'm just looking at solutions that could save the USA and have
amazing omniversity.
What?
Alfred, everything you shared about omniversity and all the hard work you've done. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I just really appreciate the leadership that we as individuals have taken upon ourselves. I mean, look at what you've created here. So I just wanted to just thank you so much for both of you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think all 3 of us are.
I realized during this program, I realized that I believe that it is vital that RFK Jr. be elected president of the United States.
Wow.
2024, because neither the Republican nor the Democratic candidate is viable. And I was told, and I have a book out there that says, will the United States in the future break up into regions of public inquiry? And I was told, and I was leaked, it was leaked to me in 1977, because the CIA had gone with a time travel probe, that the United States would break up into regions in the future. And I believe that if Bobby Kennedy is elected president in 2024, that the United States will not break up. And I prove this in 3 books that I have published that you can get at Amazon.com, that if Donald Trump is elected president, he will be, as was written in a book published in the late 1890s, he will be, quote, the last president. And the title of that book, published in the 1890s, was The Last President. Donald Trump will be the proximate cause of the breakup of the United States. So therefore, I think it's vital, and I urge everyone watching this to support RFK Jr. for president as an independent in 2024. Eddie Joe.
Amen. Well, may peace prevail on earth.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with Dr. Shiva though?
Mhm.
Yeah. But yes, awesome. Really good. Thank you for sharing all that. I know I got to go, you guys. I'm looking forward to next year. Oh man, it's been a lot. I can't believe my book's finally going to come out. Thank you guys for what you wrote and for being a part of it. And I look forward to next time. So we're going to be in 2024 when we talk next time, or we're going to do one more NewsEvolution before the year's up?
Probably next year.
See, yeah, probably next year, because this is December 3rd. So
okay. Well, if you guys, are you guys going to stay on and talk for a bit?
No, I have to go also, but
I think this is it. And so
fresh start, everybody.
Fresh
onward
start.
and a fresh start.
A lot of gratitude.
Yes. And take this opportunity for this month of this incredible elemental ether energy being available in ways that it wasn't before. Actually, dark technologies put it into reversals so that the planetary grid network would not be able to circulate these healing frequencies. That's why things got unplugged, and different harvesting dark technologies have been put in these particular areas to siphon and harvest energy. So this shows that there's been a correction. The Venus transits have made this correction, this window period. These are the proofs that we see on a cosmic level that we are in this really powerful window period. So enjoy, this season, because why is seasons and holidays all about consumption and getting, it's really a time of like detoxing and purification. Don't forget it. I mean, but also have fun, but hold a lot of good space for just the clearing and purification of all your inner elementals, because those are connected to the nucleic acids of our DNA, and the mitochondrial DNA healing is what's going to assist us in switching on the rest. And it resides right in our very hearts and souls. And like you said, just the love, the compassion, the way we all treat one another. That's where God, Goddess intervenes through our hearts, so that we can come together in a more united way. And then they won't be able to get their hooks into us so easily, will they? And I really can't wait to figure out how to do that, Patty. So those are my final words. Any
Try different ones.
You want any final words, or you guys said your final words?
That's it.
Well, I just want to encourage everybody to really think positive, because this is a hard time for all of us. And I think that I've never really cared so much for friends and family as I realize now, after 4 years of BS and 10 feet apart and fighting over, is it a lie or is it Memorex? Oh my God, get over it. So may peace prevail on earth. It's a song I wrote years ago. I always just think it, and I've got a big peace pull out in my front yard. We got to bring it. We definitely got to bring it. And inside is where we can control what's going on. We can't control maybe what's outside us, other than through those things we mentioned, compassion and love. So may the blessings be. And I love you guys. Thank you for many years that we've done these shows almost every month religiously. We've grown a lot. We've survived the matrix. And won't it be fun when we're on the other side looking at rainbows in a whole new way?
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
All right.
Okay, bye everybody.
See you in 2024.
That's right. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.